Okay, and it's going.
All right, cool. So, about me, I got my start by working at the Washington Source for lighting. I've always been into more filmmaking and whatnot. I did back in high school, I did TV productions and whatnot. I went to school and down in Florida called a school called Full Sail. Came back up, started working at the Washington Source, and then from there I started hopping on set. My goal is always to gaff and produce, but I use gaffing to produce more movies. So some things I worked on, like doing Genie, bigger movies, Wonder Woman, Jackie with Natalie Portman, and Born Legacy. There's a lot of stuff. There's not too many things that come into DC where I won't at least work on it for a few days. I'm currently working a Best Boy on the movie or a TV show down in Richmond called Swagger with Kevin Durant. But that's just my G&E background. I've been trying to do producing more. I have 3 films that I've associate produced on, and one of which went to Sundance last year, and the other one's in post-production right now. And I'm working on another one to have hopefully get going up in March. All those movies have had a budget of $400,000 at least, except for the first one, which was $75,000. And that's where I'm at right now. Just trying to keep moving, keep pushing forward. I'm 27 years old. I spend most of my money on buying lighting equipment. That's pretty much the gist about me. I still like to do normal stuff. I like to just I go to movies a lot. I hang out with friends a lot, and I just like to have fun. But that's really that's me. I worked with Jenna a few times on a few different sets, but I mostly with her because Jenna worked at Sirius. So Washington Source was at Highsville, and sometimes we would just switch gears and rent things from each other. So I would go up to Sirius a lot and see her, and vice versa. So I think it's cool that she's doing the teaching thing. She's always said that she wanted to teach and give back, so that's cool that she's doing it. I like that.
She's been an amazing help to everyone in the department.
Yeah, I believe it. She's super great, and she's super cheerful.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm you have any questions for me? You have anything
definitely.
you want to know?
Yeah, so you had said that you straight out of Full Sail, you went down to the Source. Did you PA before you did that, or just went right into the grip?
I went right into grip. I never actually PA'd, which I feel like a lot of people should, just so you can see. I feel like if you PA, it's a good way to figure out what you want to do, because you get to see all of the different apartments and talk to everybody to find out what lane you want to go into. But I kind of always knew I wanted to produce, but I was in school, I was always lighting. I was either always lighting or doing sound, so I just went straight for that.
Yeah. What made you interested in doing lighting in college?
I kind of fell into it. So I did sound because I was new in the area, and not a lot of people wanted to do the sound. So I started doing that, and then I met a friend of mine, a classmate of mine named Jake, who he was always really into doing lighting, and I just started helping him just on little side projects or whatever, and it was just kind of fun. Yeah. So he was just showing me about bouncing and all this other stuff with gear and whatnot. So then I kind of fell into it, doing it more, and then once I got back up here, I was doing a little editing, these little editing gigs and whatnot. And then I had a friend to tell me that the Washington Source for lighting was hiring, and that it was a good way if I wanted to get on set to try to do that. So I was like, that sounds great. Let me just hop back in. I was like, I know lighting, so I hopped back into that, and then from there, just started asking people to if I could work on set with them and whatnot, and eventually just kind of took off.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks, boss.
And you mentioned that your first film that you produced you had a budget of $75K, and then the later ones had $400K. I'm assuming the first one was mostly like self-funding, saving up from gigs, asking like calling in favors. But when it came to the bigger budget ones, how did you find funding for those?
So the bigger ones, it was a little easier because I did that first film, and I was able to get the people that gave me the money for the first film. So the first film I did was a face based film, and I fell in with these people. There's a church around my area called Glen Arden,
Yeah, I
and
know that one.
yeah, they had a film called Sinners Wanted,
Mhm.
and they was going through the process of trying to make that made. So me working at the Washington Source and having like contacts in the film industry, they reached out to me and was asked if I could help them get gear and what I in return would give. There was like, we'll give you a producer credit. So I started off with just like getting them like all the gear for really cheap because of my relationships with the Source, and then in turn hired all the crew members there. So yeah, I played that role, and that's kind of how I got into the producing seat, and then just moving forward from there was that. But like getting the funding, that's always like a tricky part. So getting the bigger budgets, like once you have something to show, you can go up to people that you feel like have money and that they're always interested in making money.
Mhm.
And you're like, hey, I have this film, but you always gotta like have a plan because they don't really care about like what the film is 9 times out of 10. They more so just want to know how you're going to get the money back.
Yeah.
That's where like the issue, or a lot of people have the issue for doing that. So like the church-based film, it wasn't that hard because it was like everybody's gonna go to church, they're all gonna put money in the bucket, and they're going to yeah, just go from there. So it's like that money, we made all that money back like really really fast. So we're moving forward with that, and then like so moving forward with these other projects, we had a bigger budget. And the issue now, like the same investors, is they gave us money. Now it's just like getting the money back. So to get the money back, we make it a good product. Submitted it this one into film festivals and whatnot. So we're working that circuit to get the money back and putting it on BET and things like that.
Mhm. So you're mostly looking for like TV distribution, not online.
Online is it's the same thing like streaming and all that stuff. It's more so it doesn't really matter who I guess you get this distribution from.
Mhm.
As long like my main concern is just getting everyone their money back.
Yeah.
So it's, like, I did the movie. That was like what I wanted to do. Like set out to do. You know what I mean? So now it's just like recouping the money.
Yeah.
So that's like the hardest part. I would feel like getting the money now probably isn't as hard for me. It's more so. Like I have another project that I'm hoping to do in March where I've already raised $300,000, but it's just now I haven't went forward in making the film yet just because I haven't figured out fully my plan just from like learning from the past and other mistakes and whatnot. How I'm 100% going to get the money back faster because I'm still trying to get the money back for the last film. So it's like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dope. And I've heard a lot of great things about Full Sail. I had a friend who went down there. I had a blast down in Winter Park. But what made you choose Full Sail over other film schools?
Honestly, me going to Full Sail had nothing to do with doing film. So like I like film and whatnot. I knew I was going to do it, but I was just going to go like stay local and whatnot. And I ended up going down to Florida more so because my grandmother was like, "Oh yeah, you're never gonna leave home or something like that, or you're just gonna stay in the area."
Yeah.
I was just like being a rebel, just like I'm wrong. Like so, yeah, I'm going to Florida. So I was like, my mother told me about the school. My mother's a guidance counselor, and she told me about the school, and I was like, "Oh well, it's far away. I can prove a point, and so I'm gonna go for it." So I went for it. Ended up doing that, and ended up having a great time. Like I hear a lot of good things about Full Sail. I heard a lot of bad things about Full Sail. But I feel like no matter where it is, it's like you want to network because a lot of people like if I didn't go to Full Sail, I would never known about the Washington Source for lighting.
Yeah.
So like I had a friend that I went to Full Sail with who actually told me about the Source. So it's just like all those stuff like kind of came together and connected in that way. So it's like I think it was kind of perfect how it worked out.
So going to school down in Florida, obviously a lot of professors or locals down there. What did they tell you about the industry down in Florida specifically?
so because I wasn't really getting too much work down there, but like I didn't know like if it was me or if it just was the market. But I think more so like looking back at it now, I just didn't stick to it long enough.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you can make it anywhere, but I had a much easier time getting into it. Like I felt more progress coming back this way, just because like I was at the source and I was seeing all the seeing all the productions going around versus me like having to wonder if there's actually anything going around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I know people are clearly doing things because they're coming to this rental house and stuff. But I feel like I probably could have maybe done the same thing, found a rental house down there and started working and to get on set. But you know, I didn't. That was just information that was never told to me.
Yeah.
So it was like live and learn. That would probably be like one thing I would, if I went back to school or if I was talking to students or something like that, I was telling that information. Like if you're trying to get on like bigger sets or more professional sets, then go to work at a rental house and go that route.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if it's just like if you want to work at a camera rental house, it's all like the same thing.
Yeah.
Every department, someone has to rent something for somebody, and if you're doing sound, you're probably always going to work because everyone always needs sound, like 60% of your film.
Yeah.
But I learned that more so just from being on the producing side. That sounds like super important.
Yeah.
So.
And so working at the source, did you have to join the IATSE, or was it like optional there? I think at Sirius, I think they all had to join.
Yeah, the source they give you like 3 months just working there, and then you have to join the union. But they paid for me to join. Yeah. So it's not like it came out of my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So
like
that
the
was
initiation fee.
Yeah,
and then you actually pay the yearly.
I paid like the dues or whatnot, but they paid for my initial like signing up fee and the application and all that.
Nice.
So that was cool.
Mm-hmm. And then, do you have a preference in the gigs you take? I looked over your Facebook and saw some of the films and commercials you worked on. Do you have like a preference of like music video, corporate, interview, or then features in both which you produce and both which you work on as a gaffer?
Yes. So when I was first starting out, I did a lot of music videos, and then I realized I didn't like doing music videos because it's always the hassle getting money, and then they never have budgets.
Yeah.
So I stopped doing that and started just doing more so corporate things because companies have all this money and they just throw it. So I started doing a lot of corporate gigs, and from there kind of moved doing features. Even like features I feel like I have more fun on feature sets. Mm-hmm. I like the interaction with it, but I don't think they make the most money. I think you'll probably make, if you're looking for the most money, doing a corporate gig is probably the way to go because you'll get like, sometimes you only work like 4 or 5 hours, and you'll get like, I don't know, $650 a day. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but doing like an on-set feature, you might get like 300, or it's hourly based thing. You work 12 hours, like guaranteed at least usually. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it's just like it depends on like the grind and what your end goal is. I'd say like if you're you're trying to make like movies and that's your thing, then you would definitely for sure want to be on more sets so you can see how things are ran and how things operate. Like knowing that you need rehearsals and you need like something you just never think about when you just first get on set. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or like doing it yourself. And I didn't realize like the importance of like having all these rehearsals and why things take so long and like all the moving parts and going what every department needs, and like it's a lot. So yeah, I feel like if you you're not gonna get that in a corporate setting, because in a corporate setting it's more so like, hey, set up these lights. Is it bright enough? They got a nice backlight. Cool, let's shoot it. You know what I mean? Versus the set, everything has to look nice, like costumes and wardrobe, hair, makeup. Like it's just a lot more that goes into doing a movie versus a corporate setting.
Yeah, and like just picking your brain as a gaffer. I know each time you're gonna go into a set, you're gonna obviously have different tools because everything requires different lights and stuff. But which lights do you usually prefer when you're going on a corporate or a music video set?
Okay, so set, because corporates are usually like a lot of running gun, you're gonna need just like lights you can break down really fast and set up. So LEDs, I would say like getting Astras,
Yeah.
like 6x 1x1 Astras, maybe a Quasar for a backlight on a C stand that you can like hang up. Anything you can break down and put up where you don't have to do a lot of rigging, but you still want to keep certain tools on you, like you want to keep some zip wire in your kit. You want to keep Q-taps are probably the most important thing. So, you're gonna need Q-taps, stingers, just like things you can make sure you power it, and always have like a knife and a screwdriver.
Yeah. And so one thing I've always, when I've gaffed different projects, one thing I've always wanted is like a specific monitor just for the gaffer, so that I'm always having to run to camera to see picture. Have you ever had a situation where like you've gotten like a terror deck with a monitor, where you're going around positioning your lights with the grips? Have you ever gotten that?
No.
Dang.
There'll always be like on the bigger things that I've done, like commercials and stuff. Like there'll be like a DP will have his own monitor, and then I'll just go off of the DP monitor.
Yeah.
And like versus going up to the camera and looking at their like little LED or like LED screen or whatever. But if you have just a monitor, just in general, always helps. But like go to wherever the DP is sitting and just look behind them, and it'd be like, all right, cool, and then readjust, because you always want to go off you always actually see what they're looking for and what they want, and then what they want, and you just tell them the best way to provide that, and then you just do it like that. 9 out of 10, they'll give you on corporate sets more than anything than film sets, but on a corporate set, they're pretty much gonna give you free reign to do whatever you want, and you just want to just make sure you just give them the best. So I was like, always be able to have some soft light, just so you can, Astras, have some 2 Astras, I would say, with just like the soft bounce is like an essential thing, or a soft something for the shoot through, like a Shamir grid or something like that, and then like a nice simple backlight, something you can give them like a nice like little hair light.
Yeah. And I know working at the source, you probably wouldn't have to buy your own Astras because they probably have them at the source. But I know, like, I think Devin bought his own, and I was wondering, do you also still invest in like your own lights outside of just grip stuff?
Yeah. So like I bought all my own Astras. I try not to use the source stuff as much as I can, because like they're still gonna want some money. Like when I was working there, it was one thing because I could just get all the stuff for free.
Yeah.
But now that I don't work there, because like I know like Genesis had like a situation where she can still go back to Sirius and she helps out whenever she wants. I'm not really as much like I have a code to the source. I could go in there whenever I want, and George will cut me a good deal. But I try not to just like abuse that, because I also like produce and stuff. And so I'll go to them and I want like, if I want all this like gear, I'm gonna want it for like really cheap. So like, I try not to. I pick my battles like that. But I invested in my own. I have 2 Astras. I have some of these things called Stereotubes that if I do agree to do a music video, because there's like 2, maybe 3 people I'll like do music videos for, and I'll agree to do them. And so I have their Stereotubes that change colors and do all that stuff like that. And yeah, Astras and Quasars just for like cheap, because they're not like super expensive to get, and they're pretty durable. You can like hang them up on the ceiling, so that's why I really like those. And then like of course like the small grip stuff.
Yeah. And when you're working on when you're choosing to gaff music videos or produce music videos, do you ever just like say no if you don't like the song? I felt like there's projects that I've worked on that I've directed and shot that like I love the people who were in them, but the music wasn't good, and I didn't feel like once the final product is done, as good as it would look, that I could share it and promote it, because if the song's not good, you feel like you're kind of wasting your time at the end of the day. Have you ever felt like that at all?
Yeah, 97% of the time. But the thing is if it's paying well, then I think of it like it doesn't matter, because I'm going to move on to the next project anyway. But I'm more inclined to work, if I like the song, I'm more inclined to do it for less.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So like, if I like it, I think it could go somewhere, then sure, I'll be willing to do it for less. But if it's, regardless of I like it or not, I'll probably still do it if my day rate's getting paid.
Yeah. Nice. I think I had another question. Outside of like corporate gigs that you do, what kind of work do you do independently outside of producing that keeps you like sharp and creative?
I make short films. I used to do a lot of short films, and I try to work on other people like project, and then like also like going out to help other people. Yeah, going out to help other people with their projects and for free sometimes, just because I like have nothing else to do, or like just yeah, short film. That's a fair question. Like I feel like I get like as of lately I gotten more so lost because I've been like trying to do everything for make money off of it or like make sure everybody else gets paid to do it. So it's been harder to do bigger projects because everyone like people that would want to call and ask them to help, they want to do it. Like I know that they have bills and some of them have kids now, so it's not like when I was like back in the day when I was younger, I could just go out and do it.
Mm.
And, like I always had like the idea like I wanted to keep it like a certain look. I wanted to look super good and that like cost money. So, but like to stay creative, I would say like always like continue writing and if you can just there. That's how I stay creative. So I make these little things on my Instagram channel, on my Instagram page, where I like do like little stories, like they're like almost like little music videos. And I'll send you an example. But like if you go on my Instagram, it's at Leon Spades. Leon Spades Spaes. And so I'll do these things where it's like music videos where it's like little transitions just like of my day or me on set or me going out with my friends or something like that, and I'll just like spin and do it to some music, and they're like usually like 30 seconds long. So every once in a while I'll do that to stay like creative just because I feel like I want to just make something where I was like in the mood to edit. And it's like real cheap. I don't need help to do it. If I go on set, I'll just like record a little bit of something and then just post that, and that would be like a cool like little creative thing I can do for a quick second, and I get my like little fix of staying creative and keeping things fun for me or something to do when I'm on my free time. But I would like to start going back to doing like the skits and just like doing things where for fun, like post things up on YouTube because I used to do that a lot, and I don't really do it anymore, which is kind of sad.
So a lot of what we talk about in real world is like there's some people who come and say like, I made a good life for myself in DC, Baltimore, but a lot of people will just straight up tell you straight like to leave. Like we had Clarence Gilliard came last week. He was in Die Hard, and he just told everyone just to leave and just get out to LA, and that was kind of scary. But would you ever like? Do you see yourself staying here? Or do you want to move down to like Atlanta, New York, or LA at some point in your career?
No, I wouldn't say. I take that differently. I kind of like bringing work here because I like it here.
Yeah.
But I travel for work too. Like I'll go to Atlanta. I haven't been to LA yet, but I'll go to Atlanta. I've been back to Florida, North Carolina. I've been to New York a lot and done projects, and I'm able to take care of myself and pay like all my bills and whatnot. So I wouldn't say you have to do that. It depends on what your goal is, I guess. At the end of the day, are there connections? I feel like there's connections everywhere. The only problem I feel like with LA is like you probably get a lot more work, but you're gonna get less money. So like, cause it's oversaturated.
Yes.
So it's like everybody can do it. So like here, you get your gapper rate might be like $650 for the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then up in LA, it'll probably be like $300, $350
What?
for the day. You know what I'm saying? It's just like because it's so oversaturated. It's just like everybody's trying to do it. Yeah. Then it's like about who has your kid, who has a kid fee, blah blah blah. We're here, like I just get people. The company's gonna pay for whatever gear I want, so I'll get $650 plus. They're renting out my gear, so it's a little like probably walk away with $1,200 for the day. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. It depends how you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my experience. I would never tell anybody that they have to get up and just go to somewhere else to make it happen. It's your mindset. I feel like, but yeah. But join the union if you want to be on big sets for sure. That's a fact.
I don't know which union to join. Like when I started in the film program, I was definitely director heavy, and I still want to direct, but I'd feel like I'd want to direct shorts on the side, and maybe join the cinematographers union or IATSE. Because I'm at a point where
the cinematographer union is still IATSE. but it's just a different. It's just a camera. So like usually everything else is under like one union, like lights or like gaffing and grip and sound, hair, makeup, wardrobe, all that. I think makeup's a different one, but a lot of things, set deck, all that's under our local union of 487. Usually all those are together. It depends on your area too.
Yeah.
But 600 is one just giant IATI camera union. So that's nationwide. So like you could be in any state and still be in 600. But yeah, I would say if you want to do that, then the only thing, it's harder to get into the camera union.
Yeah.
But it's not impossible. All you need to do when you're on these jobs, one, find I think you just need like 3 people to recommend you, and then you need a certain amount of hours of doing whatever position you're trying to do in the camera union.
Yeah.
So once you get that, then of course you got to pay the dues or pay the fee, which is quite hefty in camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you do that and knock it out, you're good. But like camera makes a lot of money too, so you got to think of it like it's an investment.
Yeah. And I was wondering if there's any like important set etiquette things that you would pass down, like that you would or want to know before you would go on set as a younger student. I think the biggest set I was on was Charm City. It was out shot out in Baltimore. I was on reshoots, and it was like a terrible time. Like I just hated it, and I just felt like it's because I didn't know, because I'm used to shooting sets, and like if there's a problem, just addressing it directly. But like on there, there'd be problems and they wouldn't be addressed, and I feel like I was doing things wrong as a PA.
Got you. Set etiquette. I guess it depends on whatever department it is. But the first thing I would say is ask questions. If you don't know something, just like don't try to act like you know it and whatever, because that could also like just end up just not being safe.
Yeah.
So ask questions. Depending on your department, make sure you have like your necessary tools just to make your day go well. I know probably like starting out, some good set etiquette is if you're a genie, I would say, and it's your first time on a set, stay by the carts. And then if somebody calls for it, just run it to whoever who needs it. Just like stay on the walkie, whoever needs the gear, because then from there you can kind of see. Or just try to like hop out just to be the guy that's on set to do everything. So like it's more so just like observing and seeing like the flow, how everybody else is doing it. Where you see something's lacking, just try to pick up. Like if someone needs a stinger, or like someone calls for a light, you gotta think of all the parts that they have lights. So if there's someone going for a light, then don't just run over there and help them with the light. Go get the stand, or go get a sandbag if you're in or go get the stinger so you can run the power. Figure out where the power's gonna come from because they're getting the light. You know what I mean? And then it's just like everybody has to work together. It has to be a moving part all together because you want to get the light as fast as possible.
Is that mostly for like non-union sets? I know because Jenna's mostly said that she does like PAs or anyone else who's not specifically in that job. If you touch something like the C-stand and you're not supposed to be touching it, they'll like chew you out.
That's for union sets. What I was telling you was for a union set. If you're PAing on a union set, then you should just be more so worried about cause it's hard for me to tell you what to do because I never PA'd.
Yeah.
So on a union set, from what I would say, they make sure the department's good. They make sure they people have their time cards. They make sure because PAs are really the backbone, I feel like, on the set. So it's they have a lot more going on than their own problems that they have to put out, and make sure make sure everyone's quiet on set. Make sure people don't walk through the set. All that. So to tell you exactly what they do, I couldn't exactly 100% tell you, to be honest. But I just know I'm sure there is etiquette for PAing. I just don't know the proper etiquette. I would say probably just to always have walkie batteries on you, and just be available to help out. Yeah. But these PA will tell you where you need to be.
Dope. You answered all my questions great. Thank you so much.
No problem. I'm gonna try to get you on something just so you can shadow, I guess, because Jenna asked me to do that. So I'm gonna try to get something coming up. It's been kind of. I just got back from Richmond not too long ago, so I'm not like. I gotta see whatever comes up available, but whatever comes through, I'm gonna shoot your way, see if you're available, just to come out and help out or shadow or whatever.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
No problem, man.
Thanks.
Keep doing what you're doing, and listen to Jenna because she has all the input.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
All right.
She's good.
And I'll send you more information on the screenings too.
Yeah, of course, please. And if you have any other questions or anything, feel free to reach out anytime. Just know you need advice or something, I'll be down to help.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Bye. Have a good night.
Good night.